Welcome to BeTV, Empowering Women to Be Something. Today I'm sitting with Tiffany Neal, alumna and Assistant Executive Director of Housing for Delta Phi Epsilon. Thanks for chatting with me today, Tiff.
Thanks, Andrea. I'm very excited to be here.
Today's question comes from Sophie in Missouri. Hi DPHI, it's been a few years since I graduated, and I feel like I've lost touch with my chapter. Reading about sisterhood stories and chapter updates in the triad made me miss that special connection I used to have. I don't know any of the sisters, and even with invitations to alumni events, I feel nervous about attending. Do you have any tips on how to connect with your chapter as an alumna? I'm not sure what role I want to play, but I know I want to reconnect. Thank you. Sophie, that is a great question, and one I know a lot of alumni struggle with. I can't think of anyone better than Tiffany to answer your question. So how did you begin your alumni relationship with your chapter?
When I was a member of my chapter, I lived in a small DPHI bubble. I had some exposure to other chapters, but very little. Thankfully, I had a dream team of advisors who knew better than I and understood that being a DPHI and a sorority woman in general are so much more than what I understood them to be. They convinced me that becoming a volunteer was the way to go, so I blindly followed, and thank goodness. Becoming a volunteer at the international level allowed me to quickly realize that I needed to take a break from my chapter and allow them the opportunity to no longer be Tiffany's chapter and flow into something better suited for the current members. A chapter is a living, breathing organism in a constant state of change, and mine needed me to spread my wings so that they could too.
So you're essentially saying that in order to start building that relationship, you actually took a step back.
Essentially, yes. I still supported them by attending an event here or there, but I focused my new alumni status on connecting to DPHI as a whole, as a volunteer for other chapters in our region, so that I could help them with their operations and their finances, which was something that I excelled at the chapter level.
That sounds like an awesome approach and a great way to get involved with the sorority in a different capacity. How about now? How do you balance being a volunteer or staying involved with your chapter, even though you work for DPHI?
I am proud to say that after a few years out of the chapter spotlight, I did find my way back as a chapter advisor to my chapter. I approach it like every other volunteer position that I take on, and that is ensuring that I maintain work-life balance at all times. My family, health, and career have to be a priority. I absolutely care about the chapter and the women who comprise it, but the key to being successful is remembering that I am no longer an active chapter member. My role is to guide and mentor. I will always be here to help them, but I will never let them run the chapter into despair. In the end, though, as long as they're following university and international protocol, I have to be okay with the choices that they make because it is their chapter.
I think the key to success is actually practicing a healthy work-life balance. And I know that sometimes that volunteer position can be a little overwhelming, and that's why some people actually deter from it. Do you have any advice for alumni that are too far from their chapter to be involved or want to get involved in a different capacity?
Distance and time have little impact on engagement. An alumna needs to want to be involved in order to have an impactful experience. In today's society, social media plays a key role in communication. Join your chapter's Facebook and Twitter accounts. This is hands down the easiest way to receive immediate updates and feel connected with the active chapter members. Also, if you don't have a chapter-based alumna association, just start one. Members of your group don't have to be regionally based in order to connect with alumna members from your chapter. You can tailor the association to meet your specific wants and needs to ensure that all members get exactly what they want from the experience at any given time.
That is a great idea. I'm actually personally involved with my chapter's alumni association as a remote member since they're 1,200 miles away. I stay connected through mentor programs and sharing in their successes online. Tiffany, what is one piece of advice that you might offer a graduating senior who has their alumni status on the horizon?
You have so much sorority ahead of you. Seriously. I know when you're in college, you think these are the best days of your life. And yes, They are great, but there are so many more to come. We say it all the time, but it is worth repeating. Sisterhood is for a lifetime. Whether you choose to volunteer, join an alumni association, or strictly stay in contact with your chapter sisters, there is so much more to come. Weddings, babies, vacations, reunions, and events like convention. The list goes on and on. Regardless of the miles between or the numbers of years that pass, your sisters will never leave you.
That was so heartwarming. I'm literally smiling from year to year. Thank you so much for sharing your alumni knowledge with us today, Tiff. Do you have any advice on staying connected with your chapters and alumna? Thumbs up this video and comment below. Thank you for watching BeTV, empowering women to be something.